Hey, what's up you guys, it's Connor, and today I'm going to be doing a book review for you guys, and I am going to be reviewing The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan. That is the first book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series that just came out on the 6th of October. This book was published by Disney Hyperion, and it comes in at just under 500 pages, which for middle grade is kind of a longer book, but I actually think that the age group for this book is somewhere in between middle grade and young adult, because the main character is actually 16 years old, so yeah. So basically, this book follows a character named Magnus Chase, and he is 16, living in Boston, and he's actually homeless at the beginning of the book. And on his 16th birthday, he finds out that he is somehow related to the Norse gods and has to deal with all of their drama and the world coming to an end and saving the world and everything like that. Just kind of the standard save the world story, but set with Norse mythology. I actually didn't know too much about Norse mythology before going into this book. I am Norwegian, but I didn't know anything about Norse mythology. And so it was really cool to, learn some of those things and learn some of the things about the gods and how they differ from, like, the movie, like, Thor. Like, Thor wasn't actually like that in the myth stuff. That's just a Marvel characterization of Thor. So it was cool to see how the gods were actually supposed to be portrayed, and the different powers and domains that each of these gods had. It was really interesting, and I really enjoyed learning about it, and it actually kind of made me want to pick up and learn more of the factual stories. I know some of these stories are changed a little bit because it makes it more entertaining, so I would like to read the real stories and be able to make some connections in between characters that I was able to make in the other series that Rick Riordan has written, like the Kane Chronicles, because I know a lot about Egyptian mythology, and obviously Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus series, because I know about Greek mythology as well. So yeah, I think this book is going to get a lot more people reading Norse myth and learning about that kind of stuff. Also, with the mythology, it was really cool because you didn't stay in one place. Like, I think in the other books, they kind of set up a base camp, and then they kind of stick to those, like Camp Half-Blood, Camp Jupiter. There's, I can't remember what it's called in the Kane Chronicles, but they have that, like, home base that all of the kids live at. So yeah, in this book, they don't really have that so much. They kind of move around a lot, which was cool. If you know even less about Norse myth than me, you won't know that there are like 9 different worlds. And so they end up going to a bunch of those different worlds, and they get to experience things in those places. And I thought that was really cool, and I enjoyed that as well. Magnus as a character is kind of Rick Riordan's go-to character. He's that sarcastic, witty character that gives a lot of lip and doesn't really take very much crap and is extremely loyal to his friends. It's also just kind of the stereotypical middle grade character personality, but I think he does a really good job, and I think that Magnus comes off a little bit different than how Percy did and how Carter appeared in the Kane Chronicles, which is a really good thing, because if you're reading the same character over and over again by the same author, it kind of gets boring and tedious, but Magnus is a little bit different, so yeah, good on that. At the beginning of the story, Magnus is kind of, he's homeless, but he kind of has these 2 people that kind of watch over him, and one of them is called Hearth, and the other one is called Blitz, and they're kind of the Grover-like people, the companions that travel around with Magnus and help him out a lot. Hearth is deaf, so there's ASL in the book. Obviously, there's not, like, hand figures in there, but Hearth communicates with people through sign language, which was really cool. And Blitz is kind of a sassy fashion guru that, like, always is outfitting all of them for their adventures. So that was fun. I liked reading about them. And then the main female character of the story, her name is Sam. Can't remember what her actual name is. It's longer than that. She's kind of a character that has, like, a troubled past, and she's trying to keep things hidden, and she doesn't really want to be noticed. She kind of reminded me of Hazel in the Heroes of Olympus series. So if you liked Hazel, then you'll probably like Sam too. Yeah, I really think that all the characters were a lot of fun to read about. For this genre, I feel like the story takes a while to read. I mean, it's fast-paced, but there are some parts where it gets, like, bogged down, and the book is almost 500 pages. Like, it's 490 something. So it is kind of longer for younger kids to read, because I know like my brother will get through 300 something pages of a book and then it starts to get harder for him to finish it. So yeah, so it's a little bit longer, so be wary of that. It's, you know, it's not like crazy long or anything, not for big readers, but for younger readers it might be a little bit of a challenge. I thought also a really good aspect of the book was all of the pop references. I think that pop references definitely age a book, so in a few years, like, it's not going to be as, I don't know, relatable, but it's really fun to read now. Like, there's mention of Taylor Swift in here. There's different mentions of other authors. So like one of the authors that he mentioned, I think, was Stephen King, and another one was Neal Shusterman, who Neal Shusterman is one of my favorite young adult authors. So yeah, it was funny seeing those and like being like, I know what that is, but I hope that that isn't a thing that detracts from the book later on. I don't know if it will or not, but yeah, it's there and it's fun to read right now. I will say that there's a couple of things, I don't know if you can hear the telephone, but it's ringing. I will say there's a couple of things that kind of pushed me out of the story at parts, and some things that I didn't really think made sense. So I ended up knocking off half a star, and I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars out of 5 stars, because I really did enjoy it, but there was just some things that I was like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. So there's one thing in particular which would spoil things, so I can't say it because I want to keep this spoiler free. But yeah, there's just one specific thing that really just bothered me. I don't know why, but yeah, it didn't really make sense in the terms of the story and what was said before. It just didn't make sense. So yeah, that's why. So overall, I really enjoyed this book. I definitely recommend it for any fans of Rick Riordan's or people that are wanting to learn more about Norse mythology. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you think that this is going to be something that is interesting to you, or if you've already read it, leave me those thoughts as well, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!